someone brought elk in to Anthony and he cooked it, and I was like, I can't do it. He's like, yes you can. I'm like, no I can't. So he tore off a piece and I'm like, okay, I had to admit it was alright. It's not something I would just go in and order, but I did eat it.
Maybe you had pork belly?
Uh-uh.
So I just can't stand it. It's like a buttery fat almost, but it's good for it's awesome.
I could eat that.
Yeah, pork belly outside.
I've never had it.
So that's,
Well, I've had it, I've never tried to cook it on my.
yeah, me neither.
Yeah.
It's hard to do.
Yeah.
The restaurant, I can't think of it. Something house behind McDonald's.
What? You got your mask on. I can't read your lips back here. What are you running your mouth about?
And
Just read the eyes.
Yeah.
behind McDonald's in Muncie, it's something house. It's a new restaurant. They cook it.
All right. Are we, Eric? You ready? Yep. All right. I'm showing it's a couple minutes after 7 o'clock. I think we're online, ready to go. So I'll call the meeting to order. First order of business is the Pledge of Allegiance. Mr. Chernowski, would you lead us in the pledge?
I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Next is the approval of the agenda. The agenda has been circulated. I think there's at least one addition. Is that right, Eric?
Yeah, we'd like to add consideration for administrative raise.
All right, so we'll add that under new business. And there's a resolution, proposed resolution in your packet, I believe. Anything else? Changes to the agenda before we march on? All right, if not, minutes are in your packet from our prior meetings.
I think there's two from the 9th and one from the 23rd.
Okay. So you got your minutes in there from both the 9th and the 23rd.
Second.
Motion and a second to approve the minutes of both the 9th and the 23rd as presented. Any other discussion? All those in favor of adopting the minutes as presented signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Minutes will stand approved. Board President's comments. Just genuinely want to thank, as we hopefully come to a successful close of the first semester, everybody, the administrators, teachers, students even. It's been a long journey with COVID. Education's tough on a good day, but COVID's just given us a whole nother factor to consider. But we've really come through it remarkably, being in session pretty much as we could. I know it's been a lot of extra work on a lot of people, and that is much appreciated. Hopefully we can recharge for at least a couple weeks and then go back virtual a couple weeks and then get back at it in January, and let's hope 2021 is better for everybody. It's been hard professionally and personally on a lot of people, and that's not to be discounted. So I appreciate everybody's efforts. So thank you. Mr. Krebson.
That's all you see every day, lots of work going on campus, from I guess south to north. You can see the new entrance coming along really pretty quickly, and also you're able to get a really good look at how that's going to be done when it's finished. So it's a hard-working crew out there. It's been very interesting to see that progress. They've done, and just in terms of like with the input of Mrs. Dickerson, matched the bricks to a T. Just the care of what they're doing and the speed of what they're working at. And as I've been in there, I'll let Mrs. Dickerson speak for herself. It doesn't seem to have an injurious impact on the instruction that's going on in the rest of the building. Even in the high school, as they're drilling, it's not been a constant kind of thing. So both buildings, both staff, leadership in both buildings have done a really good job of dealing with that. And again, it goes along with the care that they've been taking in safety regards to the COVID We have, obviously, winter weather coming, so add that to the list as we get into the spring. It won't be 2020 again, but we all know how the cycles of the seasons go. I'll let Mr. Greer discuss the process for the replacement for the assistant technology supervisor here in your own technology report, actually. And other than that, it's been pretty safe, been pretty normal once you're in the building and once people are taking the precautions. And I think all of us would prefer not to do it again, but I think our particular community and our instructional staff and our maintenance staff and our drivers have just done a really good job, and the proof's in the pudding. We're doing pretty well.
All right, thank you. Any questions or comments for Eric? All right, seeing none. CTA, anything new there?
Nope, we're good.
All good, huh?
Have you shared the story with the board about the guy falling through?
Yeah.
Okay, I saw. That's
Oh, about my other construction? Yes.
Yeah. Wish wanted a skylight in there, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
a guy line.
Yeah.
A guy line, sorry.
All right, Ms. Dickerson, elementary report.
First of all, it's great to be back with kids today, and to see their faces, and I think it was refreshing for our staff as well. I know the day that we said Henry County was requiring us, there was literally tears in teachers' eyes that they wanted their kids with them, and so it was so great to have our kids back in the building. I think overall it was a very smooth day, and so that was a great start to Monday, except for the people shut down across the world. So that, I took it as a sign we just weren't supposed to start with email for the day, so I didn't have a problem with it. During our virtual learning at the elementary, it looks a little bit different at our level because we rely on the parents to help out with that, and so we don't Zoom like the high school does all day long. We have them, they're just not at set times every period. And so we took some advantage and did some professional development with teachers. I did some math objectives and curriculum mapping a couple of times, so teachers are in the background working on that after hours and have until January to do that, so that I think will be helpful. If you haven't checked out our weekly Wednesday updates, make sure you check out this week's, because if you haven't checked out Facebook, Mr. Bales did a virtual Christmas program, the Christmas Carol, and took a lot of plans and efforts to do that, and it was very cool. So it's about a 45-minute production of artwork, and just a great effort by them as well. I do want to highlight that the East Central Indiana Service Center has, they wrote a grant, and they have provided each school in Indiana a teacher from each area to do 12 credits and a graduate certificate in online curriculum and assessment. And Blue River was offered one position, but because not everybody took theirs, we were able to add people to a wait list. And so Kelly Whitinger and Emily Jenkins are just finishing their final project for their first of 4 courses, was due Sunday night. And so they are, in the midst of the COVID world, have taken on graduate level courses as well. And in July, they'll have a 12-hour graduate certificate in online curriculum and assessment. So that's pretty cool for them. And they want to never talk about it themselves, but I see, at the moment you got to give things out in small doses sometimes, especially because of COVID, and so I can see where this is going to go someday, and that's really cool to see as well. The last thing and the biggest thing that we've had is a ton of facilities information. So we still have people working on our heating and air. So as it got cold outside, our classrooms got cold. We didn't need the air to work, but we needed the heat to work. And so I can happily report for 2 days in a row, Friday and Monday, our heating has been at like normal level temperatures. So I think the controls side of that is starting to, I think they're making a transition here quickly to get to the high school, because they feel like they've got most of our building taken care of, and what left is mechanical. Things we knew. We have old units. Our new units that were replaced in Pod B, from my understanding, are working fine. It's the older units that we haven't replaced yet. And so they've been working on that, and that's taken a lot of time and effort, and it was just nice to have 2 days of walking in and knowing what temperature you might expect. Because in the world things like temperature become a big deal. I can happily report that with Mr. Creviston and Mrs. Riley's help today, and Mrs. Morgan, she did the PO, we have ordered new desks for grades 1st through 4th grade. So if you have not been in elementary, those are original to the building. And so we have brand new desks and chairs coming for those students. So I know that might be sentimental to some of you, but like we're super excited about that. And I literally had a teacher jump up and down when I told her on Friday. That's how excited she was that she was getting a new student desk. And so those will be coming in January before the kids come back. The chairs might be on back order, but the desk will be delivered. And that was very exciting. Mr. Greer, I'm going to steal some of his thunder maybe, but they're ordering, so last year the high school got new teacher computers and monitors, and the elementary's turn is this year, and so those are being ordered, so they should be coming in January-ish and out to the teachers. So those are in the works. The new main entry, there's walls up now, and so that you can really get a lay of the land. So I'd love whenever it's finished, it's supposed to be finished in January, if you wanted to come over and check it all out and look at it, be more than welcome to do that anytime. The construction company last Friday let us take our staff through that were in the building, and that was nice just for them to see the visual. It's all blocked off, so it's just, you wonder what's going on behind those doors. With that, we're also getting a new PA system, again, original to the building, and last summer, I know Mr. Reagan was told if it broke, there was really nothing we could do about it, besides get a new one. So, today though, when you press the button, some siren went off, so that wasn't great. But we did verbal announcements this morning in each classroom, or I did. So we do have a new PA that's being installed here very soon. And so that leaves the last two. The second phase of our elementary project is the current staff restrooms are being renovated. And so that hasn't started yet, so we don't know, of course, what we'll uncover when we demo, but that is the second phase. So we talk about the main entrance a lot, because I think that's the big part and the part that's probably most noticeable. But the second phase of the elementary project is staff restrooms and has a rework. And so that will be starting here very soon, and that'll cause some disturbances for a little bit, but not too terrible. In fact, they're planning to do most of their demo work while the students are actually gone, so we've changed the schedule just a little bit, knowing Henry County, so we had to go virtual. And then our last part will be what we do with our existing office. So our current plans don't have a plan for the existing office. I know we'll definitely use it for student use, but we're trying to figure out what group of students will be in there and what we'll need to do to make that more student friendly and a safer environment for kids versus adults. So there's been lots of excitement, I feel like, in the past, I don't know, week, 2 days even. A lot of meetings we've had, and so, but I'm super proud of our staff, our students, our parents, and grateful to those that have reached out. And we have a lot of people that were very thankful and made the point to let us know they were very thankful that we are going to school this week. So, anybody have any questions for me?
On the desks, one thought I had, you mentioned, I think you used the word sentimental. I don't know if people would be interested in purchasing those for kids and grandkids.
They might.
I don't know. I mean, with Facebook, it'd be easy to throw something out there if we can do that.
We were there.
Well, we found your name on a few of them.
First, there's some gum on there.
We saved that one for you. No, we've talked about what we'll do with those. A lot of them are in bad shape, so I don't know that we have a specific plan about whether or not we'll sell them or not, but we know we probably won't be keeping.
No, yeah.
Getting rid of them to somebody or
Right.
something.
Well, that's a great idea to try. I mean, if you sold 75 of them,
Yeah.
for $10 each or whatever.
10 or 15 years ago, as 10, I think we were on the board. We had a big furniture buy in the elementary, and they auctioned off a lot of the old furniture, and it was well attended, and I think we made quite a bit of money.
It was everything that was in the old drafting room and the woodworking room.
And in the elementary, it was all the old teachers' desks as well as the filing cabinets, the shelves, and the elementary gym was totally full. I walked away with a few things.
Wow.
Me too.
I walked with everything said K2 on it, so, yeah. But it just not for,
Yeah.
Yep.
I don't know what to do that again.
All right. Anything else on the elementary report? Any questions? High school report. Don't see any
Wasn't
represent.
here today, but I think, Laura, you were involved with the retention policy as well.
Yes.
We would like to add our first reading of the newly designed retention policy for students in grade 8. So I will pass these around.
Just one.
We had an old policy in the ancient policy book, and so
Okay.
Adam reworked it, and then I added some elementary pieces to it, and we're basically updating one of the old policies.
Yeah, give credit both Lori and to Adam. We talked about this. We're using proprietary policies in some cases that we kind of deemed as policy. They're not current and they're really not our property. So we've done a pretty good job of getting a lot of these up to date, and it's time for this as well as the laws and everything else have changed. Makes it much more current and reflects what the principals wanted it to look like, to work for them.
All right. Well, with that, Misha, I don't know if you want to go ahead and do the first reading now, or I don't think it's anywhere else on the agenda, is it?
It's not in the agenda.
And then,
Let me do it now.
Yeah, let's go ahead and do the first reading now, and then we'll take
Okay.
questions.
Policy 5192, retention policy for students in grades K-8. And it's a proposed amendment to the current policy. The following information will be considered as guidelines for making the decision to promote or retain students in grades K through 8. Report card, progress monitoring, and other approved formative, formal, and informal assessments are used as guidelines for making the decision to promote or retain. Grade level retention will be used as a last resort. However, retention may be necessary for some students in order to provide more time and opportunity for essential and adequate progress for success at the next grade level. Building administrators will inform parents in writing prior to the end of February that their child is being considered for retention in his or her current grade and initiate a problem-solving process if not currently underway. We'll provide to parents by the end of April a progress update letter for students who have received a retention consideration letter. The principal will make a decision to retain or promote a student by the last day of the school year and provide written notification to the parent. May modify the above procedure for students served with IEPs or 504s based on case conference committees and 504 committee decisions. At the elementary school level, there are 3 basic criteria used for consideration in the promotion retention process. Students are required to pass three of the core academic subjects: mathematics, reading, language arts, science, social studies. Students with 10 excused, unexcused absences or more per semester may be considered for retention. The student's behavioral needs may benefit from retention. Okay, I think that's all of it.
Any questions on the first reading? Okay. Seeing none, one other thing I'll add to the high school report. It may be old news to many of you, but Lexi Whitinger is Henry County's Lilly Scholar. If you didn't see it, it was kind of cool. They announced it at the girls' basketball game. Neither her parents nor her knew about it. They brought her out to center court and read the just kind of the general that she was a finalist. And then Dr. Seward, who I'm sure everybody knows, a graduate here and a former Lilly Scholar. And then Jennifer Fox from the Community Foundation kind of snuck up behind her with some flowers and the announcement and surprised she and her parents there at center court. So very cool, very good recognition for her personally and for our school that we can produce a scholar like that. So, and if you don't know, and I should know the exact specifics, but I think she can go anywhere, public or private, in the state of Indiana, and tuition, room and board, and then a stipend for books is covered by the Lilly Foundation. So very cool. So.
Our last one on that, was that Kent Griffith? Was that the last Lilly we had?
I thought it was Dr. Seward, but I could be wrong. I don't know.
Kent got it.
Did he? Okay. If he got it, then he would be.
And that's what I was thinking, that he was the last one, and that's been what, 12 years?
Yeah.
Or has it been longer than that?
Very good.
Good for her.
Technology report, Mr. Greer.
Well, we've had a really eventful couple of days. Obviously, like everybody talked about the Google and that stuff. I woke up to
Did you
that.
fix
and
that?
Yeah, it's gonna be wonderful. Yeah, I did it. No, I knew coming into work this morning that it was gonna be rough because there's nothing I could do to help.
Right.
But I was like, if I could at all help teachers, we were lucky that we were in person, so we didn't have to rely on them. So it was good luck for us. We had a very large committee meet with several applicants, and after the last interview, every single person in the committee happily named one of the applicants that they preferred. So we're hoping to finalize all the details and have that named to you guys for the next board meeting to have that person approved. I'm really excited. I think we'll work together pretty well. Like Mrs. Dickerson also said, we got our new devices, which actually Mr. Hardy had originally started with, getting all the stuff rolling. We had to wait till January because of budgeting stuff, but we now have the PO signed. What I saw in the email was they were 8 days out, so hopefully we should be able to get them. Me and the other person should be able to get them ready at least by January. It would be great. It's kind of what we're hoping to see.
Good.
So other than that, it's been pretty normal with the COVID stuff. Has changed everything up. I don't know if there's any questions for me specifically. I'm still kind of new, but I'm doing my best. So.
Yep. Any questions for Mr. Greer? Thank you. Maintenance, I know we've talked about some maintenance things. We don't have Sam here. Anything maintenance report or concerns we need to take forward from anybody?
We were looking at, we'll do paving when the weather's better. We got been on top of everyone's list. The furniture, will not necessarily be provided by them, but some of the labor, some of the work to get all that stuff out and in. I mean, it's pressed steel desks, and there's more of them than there are kids, so we'll get those. And I didn't even consider that. Our actually generic plan would have been to recycle them. That's kind of an interesting idea, especially people who lived their entire life here, spent in some cases 10% of their whole life with those desks. So I'll give that some thoughts, see what kind of shape they are, and they're everywhere. There's some of them for some unknown reason up to not some of them. They're all over the place. There's carpeting up there, but it's something to think about. Because I think you're right, and just find a good way to honorably do that, and make sure it's accounted for, as disposed of in a proper way, and not just thrown away. So
Right.
Know that. Yeah, I'll give that some thought.
Okay. All right.
Scratch. DLC was here.
All right. We'll move on to our regular consent agenda. Standard reports in a custom format here. So first is the financial report, resolution 2020-12-1, the November financials. Any questions there?
I make a motion that we accept resolution R 2020-12-1.
Motion and a second. Any other discussion? If not, all those in favor of adopting resolution 2020-12-1, the November financial report, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion will stand approved. Next is our claims report, resolution 2020-12-2. Claims report is in its typical format there. And flip through that. Questions or concerns on that?
Move we accept resolution 2020-12-2 as submitted.
Second.
All right, got a motion and a second. Anything else before we vote? If not, all those in favor of adopting resolution 2020-12-2, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. I guess before we move on, one general question maybe for Kim, since we're coming down to the end of the, fiscal year. I mean, is there anything that we need to consider to spend before the end of the year? Kind of a spend it or lose it or anything like that?
It's not really
Right.
Basically what we do a few months ago, we had approved a resolution, that we could reduce this year's budget numbers that were not needed for next year's. We're still waiting to receive our 1782 notice. As soon as we get that, I will look and see and try and calculate a better dollar amount, and we will review it, we'll send it to our local rep and have them reduce the operations and, it's really just the operations and our education fund as well. And they will back that out, and then by doing that, they will bump up our budget for 21.
Okay.
So it will actually just free it up. It will have a larger appropriation for next year. So it's not, we're not really losing it, we're just going to shift it to the future.
And then one thing I was thinking of, and maybe you guys can, or Eric can tell me in the process. But I know when we first started the bond issue process, we passed a resolution that we would reimburse ourselves for some of the upfront costs that we incurred once the bond went through. Where's that at? Have we done that?
We have
Already done that? Okay.
and have been reimbursed for the expenses.
Okay, good deal. All right.
We had that conversation too, this one thing we probably should have mentioned earlier, I know one of the topics was parking lot lights, and so we, 2 months ago, we all met and talked about what could we do that's approved on capital projects that we could try to get ordered, and so the lights are in, and I think there's plans to install them in the lift. We need the lift to be able to do that, I think Steve's borrowing a lift, I don't know, within a few weeks, I think there's plans, so the lights are here.
Okay.
They just need to be installed when the lift was being rented at the same time. So they're new LED lights for what I understand from Sam. For every one pole that has one light, they'll now have 2 lights that are LED.
Okay.
So that'll be a great improvement. I know everybody feels the same way on that. So
Yeah.
that is something 2 months ago we met and said, what could we do to make an improvement between now and the end of the year? So
Good.
they're in, they just aren't installed yet.
Great. All right. Well, thank you. All right. Resolution 2020-12-3, and you've got an amended one in your packet. This is the personnel report. I'll try to zip through this. Hiring of extracurricular staff member Julianne Williams, 6th grade volleyball coach. Hiring of extracurricular staff member Haley Foster, 5th grade girls basketball coach. Hiring of extracurricular staff member Amanda Williams, 6th grade girls basketball coach. Hiring of extracurricular staff member Andrew Jaggers as 5th grade boys basketball coach. Hiring of extracurricular staff member Matthew Purdue, 6th grade boys basketball coach. Hiring of extracurricular staff member Devin Brown as junior varsity boys basketball coach. Hiring extracurricular staff member David Alexander as varsity boys basketball assistant. Hiring of extracurricular staff member Brennan Bales as varsity girls basketball assistant. And hiring of extracurricular staff member Jordan Connor as 5th, 6th grade cheer coach for the elementary. So 9 items on the personnel reports.
Move we put resolution R 2020-12-3 as amended.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. Anything else on the personnel report before we vote? All those in favor of adopting resolution 2020-12-3, the December 14th personnel report as amended, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Personnel report will stand approved. Next is resolution 2020-12-4, the what's become routine transfer of funds. Recommendation is to transfer $32,107.89 from education to operations for the month of November 2020.
I make a motion that we accept resolution R 2020-12-4.
Motion and a second. Any other discussion? All those in favor of adopting resolution 2020-12-4, the monthly transfer from education to operations, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Okay, resolution will stand approved. And next is disposal of the Mount Summit building. We met,
Did we get you guys a administrative?
okay, that was, I put that under new business, so we'll get to that. Old business, disposal of the Mount Summit building. We met in executive session. One interested party is apparently withdrawn his interest in the building. We still do have one gentleman, fairly new, that's expressed some interest. So Joel is I'm gonna get them in contact and let them discuss it a little bit. He happens to be a client of mine, so gonna have to kind of step aside as far as that goes. On that, but we'll let Joel take the lead, and it's not going to be a huge money maker for us, but we might scratch a little bit of money out of this by the time it's done. So we'll see how that goes. That's right. Yeah, it's a good thing to get rid of. It's some cost and some liability. So, so moving on to new business, approval of transfer students. I think we had a report in there with one transfer student. A Newcastle student coming to us. So, is there a motion with regard to the transfer request?
Resolution, I guess, the presented transfer student.
Second.
Okay. Motion is second. Any other discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor of approving the December 14th transfer list as presented signify by saying aye. Any opposed? Okay. Permission to pay late invoices.
I make a motion that we allow him to pay anything that needs to be paid when it comes in after the meeting, it needs to be paid.
Okay, got a motion and a second to pay late invoices through the end of the year. Any other discussion? All right, all those in favor of allowing the treasurer to pay late invoices through the end of the year signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. Next is superintendent evaluation, which is required. We had a little discussion about that. I think the plan is we will, if you guys want to email me, just kind of an overall recommendation so that we can meet our statutory obligations. We'll do that, and then in January we'll sit down and have a more thorough discussion with Eric, probably in executive session, and go from there. So I will get you the the rubric that we've used in the past. Any questions on that? Now we'll go to the administrative raise proposal. So there is a resolution 2020-12-5, proposal to increase pay for administrators by 3%. Eric, you want to say anything about that before we consider it?
No, it's pretty straightforward. It's comparable to when we started with the 3% through the non-certificated. It's, as we've discussed, it's very difficult to do apples to apples when you have to do the state formula for the two factors and everything, but it works out kind of somewhere in the middle, so it's pretty reasonable that we're getting comparable, and especially to the work that the entire group has done this
Right.
particular year.
Any other questions, or is there a motion with regard to the resolution?
We accept resolution R 2020-12 as presented.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. Any other discussion? Seeing none, we'll proceed to vote. All those in favor of adopting resolution 2020-12-5, authorizing a 3% raise for administrators, signify by saying aye. All those opposed? Motion was passed unanimously. Any other business that needs to come before the board this evening? All right. If not, everyone have a safe and happy holiday season, and we'll hope that 2021 brings some new fortunes for everybody. Thank you. Sounds like a t-shirt slogan. We need Reynolds here.